Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. When social media drama meets the real world, the Clarissa-Remy Ma and Papoose debate. What's going to happen at the BET Awards? Well, one thing we know that's not going to happen is Clarissa is not going to win anything. So let's just be real. And that's not me trying to make jokes. I'm just being honest with you. With my experiences when it comes to awards and recognition and different trophies and stuff, I just can't see Clarissa meeting any of the criteria to receive such a big award like the Sportswoman of the Year over any of those other nominees, except for one. But we keep talking about it on the live, and there's a lot of things going on because, you're talking about highly visible figures. Remy Ma, Papoose, Claressa Shields. Now, when relationships, celebrity culture, and social media collide, public interest tends to explode. We all know what's going on here. Clarissa has said things about Remy. Remy and Papoose are still married, but they've separated. We all know how Clarissa initially, befriended Remy, somehow ended up with Papoose. I mean, it's just a real drama-filled storyline. But the bottom line is, the issue isn't just the relationship itself from Remy to Papoose, Clarissa and Papoose, the fans with all three. The issue is that the whole disagreement, the whole shit's been playing out publicly because of one person. And you know who that is. Man, please. Claressa Shields has put people's business out in the streets. Her own, Papooses' own, Remy Ma came out and she put them on blast, and Papoose responded to Remy. And the bottom line is all of this because of Claressa Shields. Because to be real with you, man, and y'all know I don't get caught up in all this, but I listen to the people on the lives, and if Clarissa would have never been, if she would have been, I think had a little more respect for herself, and I'm just being real, and not even entertain Papoose, and definitely not responded to him when he DM'd her and all that shit, and talking about him coming out to her fight and all that. She should have never entertained none of that, especially knowing that she had befriended the man's wife. And that's just being real. So I blame her for all the bullshit. But the fact that just about everything's played out in the goddamn public. When that happens, you know what fans are going to start choosing sides. And public opinion turns into public feuds. And all of that becomes bigger than the people involved. Now, one lesson that celebrities learn quickly is that public disputes often stop belonging to the people involved. Remy realized that, and that's why she told Papoose, y'all keep mentioning my name. If she keep mentioning, I'm going to drag you. That's why she got Papoose under control with the quickness, and Papoose had to get Clarissa under control. Because Clarissa, man, she just, talk about taking it to the stupid. Because, see, fans had become invested. Because what initially happened is people thought Remy was the bad person in here. Then now you see the tide turn big time. Everybody supporting Remy 100%. From fans, from observers, from casuals, to content creators, to media outlets, thousands and millions of people, everybody. They've created an environment where their emotions have become amplified and very loud, and they're all saying, we don't like Claressa Shields. It's to the point to where you got people out here who want to hurt Claressa Shields. But, she created her own misery. $100,000 to anyone who can beat me. No one can beat me. Talking about she a killer. Y'all know. But they no longer have privacy. It's wild. I look at how everybody's become invested in this shit. Fans, content creators, everybody's invested. But I'm telling you, we talk about things getting amplified, especially emotions. It could really boil over at this BET Awards. Now, some people are saying, I don't know, Hood. Now, I'm telling you, you don't know. That's right, you don't know. So you probably shouldn't say nothing. No one knows. I'm hoping for the best, of course. I don't want Nobody be out here taking it to the stupid. But I'm telling you, if in fact Remy gets on that stage as a surprise guest to perform, and they do that song, it's just going to be like when NWA had Fuck the Police. Or just like with Biggie Smalls, it was told, yo, the Who Shot You? Doing that shit in Cali. Certain things you don't do if you don't want problems. But I just could only imagine this weekend if Remy's on the stage and they like drop the joint. And she hits them with the lyrics. Boy, Clarissa is going to go berserk, I believe. But this is what I want to point out. As far as someone losing their cool, them observers and supporters of Remy Ma, she receives more public support than a little bit. And the last thing they need is some bullshit to pop off in there, because I think Clarissa, no matter what, if anything was to pop off, whether it's just an argument or anything, I already know that people want to touch up Clarissa. Someone's going to get their hands on Clarissa's ass. And it ain't going to be nothing nice. You know, because people look at Remy as a sympathetic figure in the whole situation. Everybody's looking at her that way. Because everything she said proved to be true about Papoose. And they're looking at him a kind of way. This man's supposed to be a boxing manager. There's something working in this with entities and getting the deal and doing this and doing that. But people are like, nah, this man is doing to Clarissa the same thing he did to Remy. Remy said this, and now we're seeing it. She didn't tell no lies. So his reputation is trash. And the way Clarissa's conducted herself and everything, nobody even talks about the gold medals no more. I mentioned it, but, you know, it's not even about that. Her brand and reputation and career is trash now. Her and Papoose have gone the wrong direction. But Remy's continue moving up the ladder. Look at what she's doing now. Acting, on the news, more videos, big viral songs. Got the network. She got everything going for her. So they see her as a sympathetic figure, man. Like, damn, man, all this shit you went through. Wasted your life with this guy. Was taking 20% of your shit and still not contributing to the house. Now, this is all the stuff that's being talked about. But whether someone agrees with that perception or not, it explains why many fans have publicly expressed support for her. Public opinion often forms around narratives, and there is a narrative that she got the bad end of the stick in that relationship with Papoose. She went to jail, and, you know, he didn't do what he was supposed to as a man. He just was there, still with a childlike quality of just, you know, wanting a daily allowance and, you know, not trying to go and replenish the money that he was taking out. And with gambling and everything else, it's just a whole bunch of shit that people are talking about, and I ain't really trying to rehash. But it just sounds like it's a whole bad situation that Remy was stuck in, and that's why people are so glad to see her shining now. They love it. But this is what sucks for the other ones involved, Papoose and Clarissa. There's narratives that have been formed, and it's difficult to change it, especially when it's a public narrative. Perception is a killer. Now, when it comes to big woke Claressa Shields, you know, I don't have any expectation for her. I don't like her or dislike her. But I understand as a fighter, her as a fighter, and me being punched in the face before, I know what it takes. I have an idea what it takes. And I'll tell you what, you got to work hard and grind it out. So I'm going to point that out. But I'm going to tell you, even I've realized her public image is just ruined. And that remains a topic of conversation, a topic of debate, and it's been the title of a lot of people's headlines on videos. Claressa Shields. Now, as far as her accomplishments, I mean, the resume, people know, but nobody cares about that. It's more about her public image and how it's overshadowed her accomplishments. There's a lot of criticism, talking about all the social media disputes and drama, public arguments, responding to critics, going into people's DMs, is being nasty. Not acting like a two-time gold medalist. Not listening more like her champion says and talking very little or just shutting up. she has a confrontational behavior. She has nasty ways. And she had the audacity to sit here and befriend Remy Ma. And then come now and get mad that all her information is out there as far as her, messing with Papoose and how Remy Ma found out they were messing with each other. And you had the audacity to be with a married man and talking shit about his wife. They're like, oh, this confrontational behavior is ridiculous. Then you get all these people who come out the woodworks talking about Claressa Shields and about how, how she was as a teenager, how she was on the Olympic team, how she's always been. And even recently, her own ex-friend, Jada the Boxer, talking about Clarissa out here being with a whole bunch of different men after Clarissa came out here trying to, slut shame Alicia Baumgartner. It's just one thing after the next. So some people still say they think that she's outspoken and unapologetic, but most of the critics, which I'm telling you right now, majority of people, they don't feel that way. They feel differently. And I'm going to tell you right now, that divide continues to fuel discussion, especially with the stuff that people are getting as far as information on the streets, that Clarissa has a green light put on her, and she has a no-fly zone in New York. And there are going to be a lot of people out there on the West Coast for this BET event, and that Clarissa could be in trouble. And the worst thing she could do is come out there with a bad attitude. From the getting off the flight, getting to the hotel, while in the hotel, while on her way to the event, during the event. Whatever happens, she better just shut up and color. Now, speaking of that, what happens if they all attend the same event? Public figures who have exchanged words online attend the same event. Most of the time, you got people with cool heads who have a talk about being professional and making sure people on the other sides of the room, you definitely don't want to sit them in front of each other and shit. But you would hope nothing happens. Professional entertainers and athletes, they attend events with people they're just like all the time. But the difference, this is a little bit different in my opinion. Because Clarissa is unpredictable. You don't know what she's going to do. So the most likely outcome is hopefully security does its job, the teams have conversations about being professional, and the event proceeds normally, even if Remy gets up there as a surprise guest and she does the verse. Because it won't be something that Clarissa hasn't heard before and Papoose hasn't heard before. Award shows are ultimately business events. Most participants understand that. Losing your cool for Claressa Shields will be the worst option. See, if Remy performs a song, that's the song. Those are the lyrics. She's fine. But for Clarissa to sit there in the audience and have the screw face on and be pissed off and definitely to be trying to argue or saying something to Remy while she's performing, that can be extremely costly. And that's for any celebrity, athlete, or entertainer, or you have emotional reactions, that shit can be extremely costly. A few seconds, poor judgment can create negative headlines, sponsorship concerns, which Clarissa has none. And she already ain't getting any, but she definitely won't be getting anything if she does something stupid there. There'll be professional consequences and reputation damage. And she would have just thrown fuel on the fire, where now it's not just something localized as far as people wanting to hurt her. Now it goes from, New York to all around the world probably, with people who want to get at her just because they support Remy and feel sympathetic for Remy and going to be like, this is the woman here that pretended to try to, need advice and befriend her, to be with her man, to disrespect her while with her husband, to have the audacity to be offended when she comes out and hits her with a diss track. Or some lyrics at an award event, that the award she wasn't going to win and she just went anyway because she wants validation. Clarissa must show restraint. Even if she becomes angry at the event, she's got to show restraint. Now, I'm going to go back to this thing about the awards. Clarissa, the controversy is outside the ring. Awards often involve more than statistics and achievements. So what she's done in the ring doesn't matter. Plus, she's only fought once. Well, you can say twice. I mean, from August to August. But the bottom line is, I think she may have fought twice, but once this year. But it's the controversies outside the ring, man. Awards often involve more than statistics and achievements. It's a whole person concept, public perception, community involvement, reputation, influence, professionalism, overall image. I mean, different voters prioritize different things. That makes award outcomes difficult to predict. But for the most part, man, this is going to be the foundation for the criteria. So although award outcomes are difficult to predict, it's easy to predict that Clarissa will not win anything, because when you just think about professionalism, influence, community involvement, public perception, she crashes and burns in all those areas. So the bottom line, the best approach for everyone involved, and to me, I mean, I don't believe nobody shouldn't go anywhere, you know. I mean, shit. If something's going to happen, it can happen anywhere. I mean, go, but at the same time, I mean, why go somewhere you not belong? You know, you don't belong, you know. For Clarissa, she just need to focus on boxing accomplishments, avoid unnecessary online battles, and let achievements lead the conversation, and realize greatness doesn't need validation, and just don't worry about what Remy's doing. Clarissa can't win. Remy Ma's been focusing on her career, her projects. She out here, man, trying not to escalate public disputes. She's doing what she got to do. She about her money. She moving up the ladder. She up and away. If I was to describe Remy Ma as a superhero, she would be Superman. And Clarissa would be fucking handyman. See, Clarissa wants to escalate public disputes. At least she want to talk that talk. But old Papoose, he got to reduce the public drama, man. And you can see, I guess he realized he can't do nothing with Clarissa. But he definitely don't want no bullshit with Remy. Period. So he need to handle personal matters privately whenever possible. He need to get control of Clarissa. If I was Papoose, I wouldn't even go out there. I'd be like, nope. If he really loved her, I'd be like, no, you stay. I'll stay here with you. But if he's just there, you know, doing whatever he's doing, tell her, no, you stay here. I'll go. But him being there with her, I think is all bad. All bad. But at the end of the day, for all three, the most valuable thing they can do is stop giving a controversy new life. Leave the shit alone. But I tell you what, Clarissa has done to Remy, same thing that she did to Layla Ali. Just run him off, run him off, run him off, run him off. Now Remy's sitting here firing back. Clarissa can't handle it because Clarissa doesn't have the kind of help that Remy has. Remy has a whole machine behind her. She got powerful people behind her, and they want her to win. They're rooting for Remy. So Clarissa's up shit creek with no paddle. So let me just say this. The most valuable thing they all can do is stop giving controversy new life, but especially Claressa Shields. I mean, she can always go in there and do a diss track to Remy, do a response and shit, a counteraction. But I mean, how's that gonna go? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, the biggest risk in situations like this is not usually a physical confrontation, but it could go that direction. And trust me, it won't be Remy out there doing nothing crazy because she ain't trying to get herself in no kind of bullshit. It'll be people standing by who just don't like Claressa Shields' ass. And even if it don't happen there, it'll happen somewhere. That's the worst thing Clarissa could do, is try to say anything out the way to Remy. Nothing. Just leave that woman alone. Because I tell you what, that public feud, if it pops off, it's going to become the defining story for Claressa Shields. The end of Claressa Shields. She just got to focus on trying to get people to remember her accomplishments as a champion rather than the endless social media controversial goddamn, witch. She got to stop pushing this whole man please bullshit. Now she need to get it together, man. Now for Remy Ma and Papoose, look, they got the little jub there at the crib. Yo, man, don't allow them personal matters to overshadow y'all careers. And it seemed like they've kind of talked and got on the same page. And I'm glad. I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that they seem to be have reached an understanding. But in the long run, careers are built by accomplishments, not arguments. And one thing for sure is Clarissa, she need to stop. Like, to be honest with you, if it was no Clarissa, this shit wouldn't be going on. And that's just being real. Look, I don't know none of these people, so I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, from me sitting back here as a kind of, neutral person, just observing the case study and listening to the people. I'm just telling you, from what I understand, I mean, if Clarissa would have never entertained this guy and I had chasing black love and the shit she was watching on TV, what she was seeing, what Remy and Papoose had, Clarissa wouldn't be in this shit because she would have had any respect for herself as a woman. She wouldn't have went out there and entertained this guy. I'm telling you, man, anybody out here that got any class about them, men or women, you won't do that. That shit is dirty, man. I'm a guy, and I'm even out here. I wouldn't do that shit. Back in the day when I was saying, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? There's certain laws, man, you live by. You know what I mean? There's certain codes you live by. You don't do that. Even if you're a dude who's thirsty, you should know that you don't do that. Out here, man, trying to befriend somebody and somehow trying to get up on their wife. There's a lot of shady people in the world. And I tell you what, Clarissa has proven to the people that they're fair in their perception of her as being someone shady. And it's just really, sucks for her right now. But hey, Remy Ma versus Claressa Shields, that's what the talk is going into the BET Awards, And the shit's some of it's kind of funny, some of it's not so funny, some of it's concerning. We just have to wait and see how everything plays out. But I'll tell you what, yeah, I do my little content and do my videos, but y'all know I ain't never rooting for nobody to have no confrontation and get physical or nothing crazy. I don't want to. I don't want that. That ain't worth it, man. It's dumb. But the one person nobody have any control over is goddamn man, please. Claressa Shields. So hopefully she have enough sense to shut up. And if you go into the awards and Remy gets up there and performs a verse, you got to take that shit. You got to eat it. You're famous. You're an entertainer. You're in entertainment. Be entertained. You went viral on the internet disrespecting a whole lot of people. Well, all right. Sit back and enjoy your viral moment because we'll be talking about you again. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool, all right? In the breeze.